Good morning, welcome back to Fujitsu Forum TV, where you join us late morning here in Munich. The noise around us is a real barometer of the sheer volume of guests in the digital transformation zone right now. Over 80 countries have provided guests to us this morning. Just astonishing. I think the only place busier than the ICM here in Munich has probably been Munich Airport receiving everyone. We are moments away from the opening keynote of 2019, where of course we will see President Tokita, Patterson and Rupert Lehner on stage talking about driving a trusted future. It's such an important topic in today's climate. We've had many businesses over the years doing their best to cause great distrust in technology. I think the obvious one that will spring to mind to most viewers is Facebook a couple of years ago with their Cambridge Analytica scandal. That since has made us a little nervous about what we do with Facebook, how we control our data. Well now, let's just multiply that tenfold when we're looking at things like artificial intelligence. The purpose of this keynote is to look at the key facets of business and help you understand that there is good reason to trust in technology, there is good reason to trust in best-in-class service providers. And one of the great things Fujitsu does is bring all those people together to unite on a solution for your business, addressing the very key issues your boardroom, or if you're a government entity, your citizens are facing right now. Technology has the wonderful ability to solve so many problems, but more than that, it can unlock great value from them. And over the coming 30 minutes or so, you'll be hearing all about that. Now, I'm told we're running a few minutes behind because there's so many people here in Munich that are queuing to get into the keynote arena. It's going to take a few moments to get everyone sat. Let's just bring you some pictures showing you just how busy it is here at Fujitsu Forum 2019 in the ICM. We've got our roaming camera around the hall at the moment. There you go, look at that. Pictures of the digital transformation zone. Again, we're based within the heart of it. What you're looking at right now is the cloud section. And how does multi-cloud and robotics help businesses? Automation is a really interesting proposition. There's many who wrongly think automation is about replacing jobs, doing away with the human element. But the key philosophy from Fujitsu is human-centric innovation. It's how do we automate the mundane tasks, the tasks that don't need amazing brain power, releasing people to go and do more important tasks. In fact, a great example of this will be coming up in a security segment we're bringing you over the next day and a half, where analysts were busy looking at low-level response tasks. That's all been automated right now. Releasing the analyst to actually go and do far more important stuff. And that's the role of automation. You will be hearing lots about that. I imagine we're probably going to touch on some of the innovative technologies that we started to bring you narratives around yesterday. Quantum computing inspired digital inhaler is one such technology. Live examples are in play. Product hardware is actually being demonstrated here at Fujitsu Forum 2019. And that's quite a big message because quantum computing, some say, still 5 years, many say still a decade away from bringing you live solutions. But the smart people at Fujitsu, they got the engineers together and they came up with the quantum computing inspired digital inhaler, the ability to process huge sums of equations and data to actually get answers to key business challenges that haven't yet been addressed. If that's piqued your interest, go and check out the interview we did yesterday with Dr. David Snelling. He's the Program Director for Artificial Intelligence here at Fujitsu. You'll find that on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Let me get you up to speed with events here this morning. So as I said, we opened the doors at 9 o'clock Central European time. We had guests from over 80 countries flood through those front doors. Since then, they've been catching up on stories around edge computing, hybrid IT, which has really come to the floor. We've got our ecosystems, which are now being stretched. They're far more diverse. There's an awful lot of complexity around them. There needs to be information to help simplify them, to help you understand where you should be developing and advancing. We brought you an interview earlier looking at manufacturing and how they're benefiting from hybrid and edge. Transport, first up this morning, excuse me. My apologies. We started with the transport team this morning. Those ecosystems are really complex. We've got a combination of businesses whose technology is perhaps a little behind the curve, and then we've got this big explosion of technology that's further complicating things. The keynote, which we're hoping to bring you in a few moments, and then we're going to close out this morning talking about Fujitsu and Microsoft's multi-cloud best practice. Now, that one's quite key. Multi-cloud, do you know, the cloud's a bit of a phenomenon. Nobody's going to be shocked at hearing that. But if I tell you some businesses have 20, 30, 40, even 50 cloud properties, big questions have to be asked. Is that the right cloud strategy? Should you have that many properties? What about security? Was that baked in from the start? Or are you vulnerable processing sheer volume of data in so many different locations? And what does that mean for the data center? Well, that was the whole hybrid IT, cloud computing, edge computing narratives that we brought you this morning. What have we got coming this afternoon? Because we've got another keynote coming up and a whole host of interviews. See if we can get the afternoon agenda up on screen for you. There we go. So 1 o'clock, we're talking about intelligent workspaces. That's quite an interesting one. We've spoken a lot about how technology can transform businesses, but what does that mean for the workforce? And how do we enable them? Does it drive greater retention? Does it mean we get more efficient work? We're going to continue that narrative through to the Building a Trusted Ecosystem keynote. Now, we've been talking a lot about the importance of best-in-class service providers. That keynote will actually have the likes of Intel, Nutanix on stage joining Fujitsu, talking firsthand about their experiences of delivering best-in-class ecosystems. So if you're an enterprise business or aspiring to be an enterprise business, you should check that interview out. The citizen-centric digital government. Do you know what? One of the standout interviews from 2018 live on Fujitsu Forum TV was the government team. They brought us the team from the Estonian government. Martin Kavats, he was an advisor to the Estonian government, came and talked to us about the great success they were having in digital transformation. Well, we're joined by another European entity this year, this turn is Finland. They've just been ranked #1 in a digital transformation survey. What does that mean? Well, they're going to come and tell us and hopefully help the rest of Europe and beyond realize what they need to be doing from digital transformation within government. Blockchain, well, we have to talk about that, don't we? There's been a bit of criticism around blockchain. Are we showing enough real-world examples? Well, strap in, we've got a belter coming your way. Rice exchange. If I tell you rice commodities is one of the biggest traded commodities in the world. Now, traditionally, this has been quite a backward and antiquated process. But the smart people at Fujitsu, they've been working with the rice exchange to actually come up with a blockchain-built solution that enables secure and fast trading. We will be hearing all about that. At what time is that? 3:30 Central European time, so obviously if you're tuning in from the UK an hour earlier. And then moving through the back end of the afternoon, co-creation, the future of sustainable economy as well. I think Joe Box was the standout speaker yesterday, wasn't he? He's back and he's bringing more people with him. And then we're going to close out the afternoon transforming financial services, automation, and business process optimization has a key role to play within the financial services industry. Off camera last night, I was talking to our guest speaker. There is a lot you need to be looking at. If you're operating within financial services, not just banks now, but insurers, you want to tune in for that one. There's some advice coming your way that's probably going to help your business. Right. Where is Dan right now? He's out and about with his Steadicam roving the digital transformation arena. There he is. Oh, he's over with the Run My Process team. Now, this is a collaboration between Centric and Fujitsu. New technology released at Fujitsu Forum 2019. Now, I am told that's not a gecko, that's a chameleon. That's actually the SUSE mascot. SUSE, of course, one of our show sponsors here. Thanks to NetApp, SUSE, and Citrix for making Fujitsu Forum TV happen. Now, careful as you go, Dan. Try not to hit anyone, and hopefully they're going to be kind enough to separate. Blimey, breathe in. The NetApp team, there we go, perfectly timed. Another one of the show sponsors. And the PrimeFlex. We've spoken a bit about PrimeFlex, haven't we? Within hybrid, it's playing quite a key role within hybrid IT. So, hopefully that's brought you up to speed with what's happening in the digital transformation zone. What about the keynote arena? Have people been taking their seats? Well, let's maybe dip on over and take a look. Because we're moments away from bringing you the opening keynote with President Tokita and Paul Patterson, Rupert, Lehner. Of course, driving a trusted future is the theme of their keynote. And just to remind you, they're going to be exploring vision, understanding what a trusted future looks like. Innovation, they will explore the role of innovation by sharing recent experiences. Agility, how do you adapt to disruptive challenges? And how does Fujitsu help take the strain away from that? That'll be an interesting soundbite. The ecosystems part, creating the partnerships required to deliver successful outcomes. Well, there we go. Let's get you over to that opening keynote. Ladies and gentlemen, the opening keynote of Fujitsu Forum 2019, Driving a Trusted Future. Enjoy.
Life, we need trust in order to build relationships. Relationships with customers, with partners, with co-workers and suppliers as well. Companies spend years building trust, and yet it can be so easily broken. We've seen that happen in the last year with businesses in way too many cases. Whether that's an airline that has had a plane crash and we no longer trust them, whether it's an organization revealing corruption when they're about to go public, or maybe it's a small trending app that everybody's been using and then realizes that it's not as secure as they first thought it was. Well, with fake news, cybercrime, and constant change in this ever-changing digital world, we know that if we want to succeed, we need trust. And that is why we decided to make it our theme for this year's Fujitsu Forum. As you can see here, human-centric innovation driving a trusted future. I'd like to welcome 3 people on the stage to talk about this in a little bit more detail. Later on, we have Paul Patterson and also Rupert Lehner. But first of all, to kickstart the Fujitsu Forum 2019, it's my great pleasure to welcome to the stage the President and Representative Director, Digital Transformation Officer of Fujitsu Limited, Mr. Tokita.
Good morning. On behalf of not only our employees in Europe, but our 130,000 employees around the world, I'd like to thank you for attending this forum today. I'd also like to express my gratitude for the companies that have helped sponsor this event. Fujitsu wants to be a company that solves issues in society, bringing happiness and well-being to as many people as possible. We would like to be a useful partner for business and organizations who likewise want to contribute to society. We are putting our technologies and capabilities to work for this purpose. Fujitsu is determined to take the lead in digital transformation and make a difference in the world. Our world-class technology is supporting this effort. One example is quantum-inspired computing. Our digital annealer is charting to revolutionize a number of fields. Optimizing logistics network not only reduces cost, but also reduces the burden on the environment. In drug discovery, it can dramatically accelerate the search for candidate compounds and may help bring safer drugs to the market faster. Together with the customers, we are taking on many other exciting challenges, such as optimizing production lines and financial portfolios. Another is supercomputers. They are indispensable for scientific research and helping us humans tackle challenges in climate change, energy, and medicine, to name a few. Supercomputers have now started to play an extremely important role in the advanced advancement of AI, which requires massive amounts of computing power. This is one of the reasons why Fujitsu has a renewed focus on the technologies. Fujitsu has built supercomputers that have topped a number of global rankings and has also begun building Fugaku, which is bound to become one of the fastest computers in the world when it begins joint operation around 2021. Supercomputers are no longer just for governments and academia, and Fujitsu is lowering the hurdles to private supercomputer usage. As part of that effort, we are going to launch products utilizing the same technology as Fugaku. As the use of technology advances, there is one thing above all we must not lose sight of: the importance of trust. Trusting technology and trusting data. It's clear from our surveys that these are extremely important in the utilization of technology. Fujitsu is pursuing technologies that can create trust. For example, in AI, Fujitsu is taking the lead in developing technology that increases the transparency of AI reasoning processes. In addition, we are also working on the issue of AI quality. Last month, we announced high durability learning, the world's first technology for monitoring the accuracy of AI output and automatically repairing degradation of AI models. It's only when AI is used to bring happiness and well-being to people that this sort of technology enriches society. This is why we have made a clear commitment with regard to AI ethics. In addition, because we are a trusted global company, we will continue to work on contributing to a sustainable society and to Fujitsu's own transformation through a unified global framework. Based on the foundation of trust and superior technologies, Fujitsu wants to be the digital transformation partner for our customers. We also want to further promote co-creation with all of you to generate value for society. To support the digital journey of our customers in Europe, we are continuing to strengthen our service delivery organization in Europe. We have divided Europe into two regions, Northern and Western Europe, and Central and Eastern Europe, to enable us to be even more agile in providing support. In a short while, we will be introducing you to the people in charge of these respective regions, Paul Patterson and Rupert Lehner. In addition, we are enhancing our capability to deliver solutions such as ServiceNow and SAP, for which customer needs are very high. We are also expanding the function of our global delivery centers, which play a pivotal role in delivering high-quality services and making them the hubs from which we will deliver solutions. To achieve a successful digital transformation, a successful migration from legacy systems is a must. There is no getting around the challenges posed by complex legacy systems. Based on a full understanding of the actual issues facing customers, Fujitsu will work with customers to resolve them. It's because Fujitsu has supported so many customer systems over the years that we have an edge in this area. What will differentiate us in the end is the talent we can deploy, and that is why we are devoting more resources worldwide to putting into place the kind of people who can lead successful digital transformation. Expect great things from Fujitsu. Now, I'd like to turn the stage over to the leaders of our business in Europe. Let me first introduce Paul Patterson, head of Northern and Western Europe.
So good morning, and thank you, President Tokita, for the introduction and a welcome to you all here at Fujitsu Forum 2019. Let me add my gratitude to our customers who have traveled from around the region to spend the next 2 days with us, and also our partners who you will see throughout the forum. My name is Paul Patterson, and I have the pleasure to lead our Northern and Western Europe region here. Innovation. That lovely word. What does it mean to us all? What are we thinking about it? It's everywhere. It's everywhere. And as I talk to customers, be it in the public sector or the private sector, how do we catch it? How do we get it? How do we move ourselves in a consistent way towards driving innovation in our businesses? They're telling me, they're telling you, and in fact, you are telling us in all of our surveys that you believe you are working in the most challenging times in our careers. No matter where you are in Europe, Madrid, Amsterdam, London, Dublin, Helsinki, or Stockholm, no matter where you are, we believe we are living in very, very challenging times. And to deal with that challenge, we have to think radically. We have to act radically. Not just these incremental changes that we've used in the past, but really harness the innovation that is both technology-wise, people, that human power that we have in our regions, and the business outcomes we are trying to drive. So radical approach, focused on innovation. But how do you build this to be sustainable? How do you get that agility in our organizations? Not just, it's okay for today, but how do we make sure together that we build an agile platform, an agile way of working as we go to the future. And as we look to the future, let's just take a moment to think about what you are telling us, our customers are telling us, what I am hearing as I talk to organizations around the world. Financial services, I'm sure many of you today would have picked up the paper, looked at your social media feed. What's happening with the US trade talks with China? What's the regulator doing in financial services? What is the regulator doing in financial services? How are they disrupting financial services? Let's talk about retail. Wherever you are in the region, those cities, those towns, those shops, how do you increase that footfall? How do you make that user engagement, that customer engagement? And in fact, it's about none of those things. It's all about sustainability, the supply chain. All of these topics are inside, if you are a retailer, in the room. Now let's talk to energy. Energy, the lights, the water. Imagine if you're in the energy industry. Is it all about the environmental impact of what you do? Is it about sustainability? How do I build a platform for energy distribution for the next 5, 10, 20 years? And finally, in government. If you're in government, local central government. Looking after me, looking after you. How do we trust your data? That word trust again. How do you trust your government to manage your data and look after you? From cradle to grave. All of these topics are so important for our customers as I travel around the region. And you have told us in the surveys, every survey, that those topics, that challenge, that radical thinking is enormously important for you. And I'll give you one more example. It's an energy company. I happened to be sitting down with the CIO. They had just come out of a board meeting, and I was next on their agenda. He'd come out. We've got a problem. We've just lost, in the last 6 months, 500 million euros. 500 million euros, that's a lot of money, in margin in the last 5 to 6 months. Now, where did this disappear to? Where did this go to? Regulations around price capping, warm weather, and concerns about the sustainability of their power suppliers. So why is the CIO talking to me? What's that got to do with Fujitsu? Well, actually, the great thing is we have been with that customer for many years. Many years. We know them. We understand them. We're talking to them with our partner, ServiceNow, about how we radically change the way that they deliver services. Not just IT services. No, absolutely across the board, in their businesses, in the HR, in finance. We're working with them together in this area to drive a different business opportunity for them as they go forward. And if I think about water, when you were in the shower or whatever you were this morning, you turned on the tap, you didn't think twice about whether the water was going to flow. You didn't think twice about whether it was clean and consistent. We just know it's there. And the great news is it's all connected. There's these little switches that make sure the pumps work. There's these little devices that make sure it's got the right chemicals or not too many chemicals in it. The great news is they are all connected. Hold on. The great news is they're all connected. Cyber terrorism, cyber crime. Is it about our email? Or is it actually about those switches, those devices, those pumps? Imagine now if somebody had control of those. Imagine you're in the water industry, waking up every day, worried about that. The great news in that example is that client and Fujitsu have been working together for many years. They have purchased our advanced threat intelligence service. We're working with them yesterday, today, and tomorrow, making sure that the threats that are coming towards them, they can handle them in an agile way. Now, we have to step forward clearly as well, because there's new things coming to them also. But that whole issue of how we collaborate, how we work, how we use our industry understanding to help you be a safer business in the case of this energy company. So, how do we make all of that happen? Well, it's about people. President Tokita talked about, it's about the people side of this. In all of our businesses, the people make such an enormous difference to us. I am delighted that Wärtsilä are a customer of Fujitsu. Based in Helsinki, they are a global company in the marine and smart engineering world, spending a lot of time and a lot of money on the future. And I met the CIO last night again, and he reminded me that they've signed their contract with us, and he is genuinely very happy. But why? How was he happy? Why is he happy? Because our teams were together. They traveled around the region, looking for the evidence of what Fujitsu does throughout the region, working with our global delivery organization. We signed a contract in June. We are moving their applications and their users to the cloud, 17,000 of them. Why is that important? Helps collaboration, helps increase the happiness, as President Tokita talked about, of employees. And the great news is we've delivered all of that on time. Trust. Trust is so important. And I put it to you that we are the organization that you can trust in the tough times and the good times, with all the differences that are coming towards us. Now, as we engage with customers through this co-creation, this trusted way, we've used our human-centric design. And for many of you who have been at Forum before with us, you would have heard us talking about co-creation before. And that's what we did with Wärtsilä. We sat in the room. They're experts, our experts. We worked together the solution. But we have taken our human-centric design, we've taken that co-creation, and we've automated it. Why? Because as we deliver these types of engagements, these types of business outcomes, we have to do them consistently, repeatably. There's no randomness involved. We can't have random outcomes. We need to be clear about what we're trying to do. And we have automated this engagement through what we call digital transformation centers. Now, for those of you who walked through this morning, you would have seen one of our DTCs there in Forum. We have them in Munich, actually in the offices here in Munich, London. We have one in New York. We have several in Japan, and we've recently opened one in Sydney. Now, I don't expect you to go to our DTCs. Why should we? We're Fujitsu. We come to you. We deliver 37 of these interventions, these DTC experiences, which are very energetic. They're not sitting down with PowerPoints. We're up, we're thinking, not just the technologists, but the heads of HR, the lines of business, the legal colleagues. How do you make this solution and this future better? Through our DTCs, we make it real. And we don't just work on little things. For those of you who are at Davos, you would have seen one of our DTCs at work in Davos, thinking about a big issue, a big issue. The UN Sustainable Development Goal number 11, which is all about cities. How do we, as citizens of this region, make sure that our cities perform and develop in a safe and environmentally friendly way? So the big issues. And I put it to you that this engagement, this whole work around our DTCs, it drags out those future solutions for our customers. And I'll give you a final example of that in practice. This is a beautiful picture. I love this picture. It makes you relaxed and all those things. But actually, for Kongsberg, who are a global organization in the marine and shipping industry, they've got about 30,000 vessels under management. That's a lot of vessels. What's their biggest cost? You all know. It's fuel. And if you want to reduce your fuel, how do you do that? Oh, I know. You get a better engine. You use different fuel, or you design the ships better. Well, in fact, there are a multitude of issues which Kongsberg need to deal with. Working with them in one of our DTCs, with our experts from our digital business unit, with their experts, with some third parties, we explored what are all those variables. It's about the tide. It's about the weather. It's about the regulation. It's about the load that's on the vessel at the time. All of those factors come into play when we think about fuel efficiency. We are deploying artificial intelligence. In fact, I just checked this morning, in a few weeks' time, a proof of concept, a proof of value on about 100 vessels. We're trying to prove, not in a year's time, but in the next weeks and days, whether applying artificial intelligence into that business issue makes a difference. So I think it's this whole approach of how we develop and work with our customers in DTCs. And I'll bring us back to this word agility. We have to do this in a way that builds those foundations for the future for us all. And organizations in their surveys to us are telling us that there are 4 or 5 big things that they're worried about. I talked about it at the very start in terms of this challenge at this point in our lives. But 2 statistics I will draw for you on the next slide. The top one, 67% of you, some of you in the room would have answered this for us, have already started digital transformation. Great news, we've started. But actually, the next statistic was more worrying, but you've only moved about 25% of the work, the easy things, I would argue, to the cloud or to different digital platforms. It's the hard stuff, the difficult stuff, the stuff that Fujitsu loves to deal with. Those legacy applications, those legacy ways of doing things, we believe together we can shape that very differently with you. We believe is that handshake across. So let me bring all of that to a conclusion for us. We think, you tell me, you tell my colleagues around the region, we need to plan radically. We've just agreed that at the start. We also agreed that we've got to drive, not be passive. We have to drive that innovation. And we have to put agility at the heart. Not just something for today, but something for tomorrow. In fact, something for the next 3 and 6 months. And we at Fujitsu, here at Forum, we believe we have great technology. We have great partnerships. You will see our partners in the room as you walk around. We have great people in your cities, in your towns, in your countries. And also we have 20,000 colleagues listening, watching, delivering around the globe to you as well. And then we bring all of that experience to bear, and we understand you. We understand your industry. We understand some of those problems that are taking place. And I would ask you, I would challenge you to talk to us, to give us that hard stuff, to talk about those difficult things, and allow us to work with you as we accelerate, not slow down, not leave passive, accelerate your digital transformation with Fujitsu. Thank you very much. Now, it's not often I get the chance to welcome my brother to stage, but I'd like you to welcome Rupert. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, our theme for Fujitsu Forum is driving a trusted future. And trust has always been very important for organizations. No organization can survive without the trust of their customers and partners. However, as the world becomes even more complex, and as we become a digital society, we need this relationship more than ever. All companies and organizations, no matter how large or small they are, must face the fact that they cannot longer manage this change on their own. All companies need an ecosystem of reliable partners to meet the complex challenges of the digital transformation. Our global digital transformation survey found that 66%, 2/3 of leaders say that their organization leverage an ecosystem. 63%, nearly 2/3 of business leaders, would be more likely to trust the organization that has already a robust ecosystem and environment in place. And we also believe ecosystems are becoming crucial for organizations to operate in the emerging digital business environment. Our partner ecosystem is an important part of our offering for you, for our customers. And many of these partners and the solutions we have developed together with them, you can see here at the Fujitsu Forum. And 4 of our partners talking about how they see the importance of ecosystems in our partner keynote in this room today at 2 p.m. The range of our partnerships are really huge, from startup companies to channel partners to strategic partnerships with other technology giants like SAP and Microsoft. And now is the question, how does the partner ecosystem work for you, for our customers? And now let's talk with one of our customers who can share his experience of why partnerships are so relevant. And please welcome together with me Dr. Kian Mosanen, Chief Information Officer of the German automotive supplier Drechselmeier. Kian, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Kian, first of all, could you tell us a little bit about Drexelmeier and the challenges where you are faced with as Chief Information Officer?
Sure. I mean, Drexelmeier is a German family-owned premium automotive supplier located here in Bavaria. There's more than 70,000 employees in more than 65 plants all over the world, still growing. Our portfolio goes from high-end interior parts we produce for our customers. It goes to harnesses, where we produce the cabling for the car, lot size 1 with up to 2.5 million variants. And it ends up with batteries for e-mobility for a very well-known sports car that you all heard about.
Okay, very interesting. And Kian, what exactly does your IT strategy look like?
Yeah, we have a very strong vision. We create solutions. And whatever we have set up goes in the direction bringing a solution of value to our customer, internal and external. That means we want to become part of the digital transformation of the car of tomorrow. And to get there, we have to find a framework with 4 pillars. Number 1 is our cloud-first strategy, bringing the infrastructure into the cloud, making it more dynamic. Number 2 is processes, optimize the end-to-end processes that goes from the supplier, goes via our complete internal delivery chain, goes with blockchain to our customer. It's about the organizational structure. The IT is more and more moving forward into the business, becoming part of the business, so we need to have a completely different interface between us and our business partners. And last but not least, we run a huge project for master data, because without having the data in control, forget digital transformation.
Very interesting. Kian, you mentioned also that integrated system and process landscapes are key for you.
Yeah, so with the complexity of our business model, we have a historically grown application landscape that we built up on our own, all self-programmed. But this is not the right journey moving forward. So we have a clear SAP S4 journey, because we believe this will help us much better to be faster, more efficient, and better also connected to our partners in the ecosystem of the economy.
Okay, and finally, you talked also about standardized concepts. However, you still use on the one side our BS2000 mainframes, on the other hand, cloud services. Isn't it a paradox?
That's right. I mean, you need to have a clear decision and clear guidance, and our black and white guidance is cloud first. Nevertheless, and this is what we see also with all our suppliers in that environment, only cloud doesn't work. You need to have a hybrid approach, but you have to see where you get the best value out of that, and you need to move fast. And therefore, we have a hybrid approach, but moving very fast many activities into the cloud.
Okay, Kian, thank you very much for this very interesting insights. Thank you again.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, we have heard about how important our partnerships, in this special case with SAP, for our customers. And I believe that is really true. That is really a true co-creation in practice. The real power of ecosystems is that they allow us to benefit from the unique knowledge and the capabilities of the various partner organizations. Whether it is technology or it is expertise, whether they bring scale or something niche, the ecosystem is built on the unique characteristic of its members. And I would now talk also about something unique for Fujitsu, which is generating really a huge interest from our customers. That is the Fujitsu Digital Annealer. And as you have heard from our President Tokita, this is a unique technology inspired by quantum computing. And it offers some of the enormous potential of the quantum technology of the future, but in an architecture that exists already today. And it can solve complex optimization challenges in providing performance levels that are generations ahead of today. Let me just briefly pick up a few examples how companies are already using it today to optimize their processes in real time. In the financial industry, Commerzbank's subsidiary, main incubator, demonstrated in an extremely successful proof of concept the potential for optimizing of investment portfolios. And the result are reduced risks, increased portfolio yields, and a better alignment with regulatory requirements. The Hamburg Port Authority is looking at the technology to improve traffic control in the future. And you can learn much more about the technology and its practical use in the exhibition here at the Fujitsu Forum. And you should really not miss the keynote by our CTO, Dr. Joseph Rieger, tomorrow, where we will hear a lot more about it. However, we are not only investing in new technologies, like the digital annealer. We are also investing heavily in our resources in the service business, locally, in countries like Germany, Austria, Switzerland, UK and Ireland, and Finland, and as well as in our global delivery centers all around the globe. And next to the Fujitsu colleagues you meet in the daily business and here at the Fujitsu Forum, you can really rely on a fast global delivery organization with more than 20,000 people. And we have service centers in Poland, Russia, Portugal, India, Costa Rica, and the Philippines, always available, always online, and ready to support you. And of course, our big partner ecosystem. We are also investing locally in dedicated digital transformation units. And as example, in this year for Central Europe, we announced a newly created digital incubation division. We are creating hundreds of new jobs in these business areas. And this brings me to my most important point of all. All of this, everything we have told you this morning is about people. Because people are really absolutely key. And this also applies to other aspects of the digital transformation. People must be involved in designing the new digital solutions. And technology must serve them, not the other way around. Technology alone cannot solve isolated all our challenges we have. And therefore, human-centric is so important. In interaction with our customers, with our partners, and in all other areas of human life. And now let me show you a short movie of the brilliant people at Fujitsu who are here to support you. And now let me summarize what you have heard in the last 40 minutes. You heard from our President Tokita-san our vision for Fujitsu. Paul Patterson told you about how we drive innovation and enable agility for our customers. And I told you about how we are building ecosystems and the importance of becoming human-centric. And if we combine these 5 areas in the right way, we are really convinced we can drive a trusted future. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Rupert. Now, before you all go, I'm going to ask Rupert just a couple of questions, if that's okay, ones that I'm sure you'll all want to know the answers to. First of all, what is it that participants here at the forum can get out of it this year?
Also, first of all, I would say the huge range of formats and topics what we have here makes the Fujitsu Forum so unique. And when you take the exhibition, in the exhibition, you can really see connected services for specific industries. As example, our smart city approach. On the other side, you can really see our latest generation of mainframe systems and eternal storage systems, and how you can it be used in practice for the digital transformation. And this combined with our keynotes, the breakout sessions, and the expert talks what we have, I believe you will find something for everyone.
And what are you personally looking forward to?
I personally, first of all, I would really say that it's really here to meet customers, partners, experts, to share information and experience. And I would say everybody should really understand the Fujitsu Forum is really a communication and a collaboration platform. However, you should also not miss the digital annealer, this really fascinating technology to serve and to support, on the end of the day, artificial intelligence. And of course, you heard it also already about our digital transformation center, the mobile one. Based on the huge success we had with our digital transformation centers in London, in Munich, and around the world, we decided to offer in the future a mobile one and try it out here at the Fujitsu Forum. Sounds like there's an awful lot to see, hear, and absorb. Please put your hands together once again for Rupert Lehner, everybody. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So please now do take some time to go out, enjoy the breakout sessions, the Digital Transformation Center, and of course network with many of your peers that are in the room here today. We're going to be back here at 2 p.m. with a thought-provoking session on the role of trust in building partner ecosystems. Hopefully we'll see you then. Bye-bye for now.
Welcome back. Fascinating, wasn't it? We told you there would be a whole host of insight in the opening keynote of Fujitsu Forum 2019. I mean, it sounds obvious, doesn't it? But everything that was said around vision, innovation, agility, ecosystems, and that human centricity, I'm sure there's a whole lot of learning you can all take away back into your organizations. And the purpose of Fujitsu Forum as a whole, not just Fujitsu Forum TV, is to spark that intrigue back in your boardrooms, back within government. If we're causing you to go away and have a discussion around something you have viewed today, we've done our job. Now, trust in driving a trusted future, obviously the name of the keynote. We're sticking with the topic of trust. Up next, we're talking to Garen Main, who's the SAP director here at Fujitsu. There's an awful lot on the horizon for SAP, and particularly SAP HANA, with the 2025 deadline being imposed on us. If you're a SAP environment and you want to know everything there is to know about SAP HANA and what needs to be done in just a few years, you want to stick with us. It is 11:55 CET right now. We'll be back to you in a little over 5 minutes. 12 o'clock, we're back on air. Stick with us. So much more to come from Fujitsu Forum TV.